This device is the Looky L1. It sees what you see, it hears what you hear.
Using it for a week, this thing might be the future.
You're paying $200 for a plastic necklace that hates you. Humanity is now paying a subscription fee to have a microchip bully us into drinking water and acting like adults. The Loki L1 is a camera and a microphone designed to be disappointed in you. It doesn't just track your steps though, it watches your life. It uses multimodal sensors to see what you eat and how you talk to your boss. If you raise your voice in traffic, well, the pendant vibrates. And if you buy a bag of chips, it flashes a judgmental red light to let you know that you're failing your diet. Now, since it sends its notification at midnight, it's gonna ask you if you're really going to watch another episode of Netflix, since you've effectively paid to turn your entire day into a parole hearing. It is a mock prestige device for the spineless, and since it has the manufacturer exclusivity tag to it, for some people who have forgotten how to tell themselves no. You aren't buying a tool anymore, you're literally buying a battery-operated conscience because yours died years ago.
Too busy to pull out a phone, or a moment passes before we can capture it.
To understand why anyone would buy a nagging microchip, you look at how helpless the modern adult has become.
Right, digital ID, it's not for safety. I don't care what you think. Unless you're uneducated, you're living under a rock. Digital ID is a problem.
Countries who have not got, digital, whose government are not digital, they are suffering. They are suffering. There's a lot of embezzlement, a lot of corruption.
Chip flip.
10 years ago, if you were acting like a slob, a real person would just tell you to get it together. But real people now, they're quite exhausting, and since you can't turn them off when you get bored, the tech industry stepped in. And they realized that you don't want a friend. You want an authority figure. You want something that treats you like a naughty child because you can't sit still without being filmed. Since the Loki L1 speaks to you with the same gentle parenting tone that's used on a toddler while it is having a meltdown.
AI. So Looky is actually able to notice patterns over time and maybe nudge you if it's past lunchtime and you haven't gotten up from your desk to eat yet, or maybe if there were some special moments that happened throughout the day that you didn't catch, it will nudge you about those things as well.
Since you've replaced your human connection with a feedback loop of digital nagging, this delusion as a self-care for the terminally directionless has evolved into unforeseeable levels, to the point where the financials of this stupidity are staggering. The global wearable market hit $48 billion, and this is the second wave of garbage, since the first wave tried to replace your phone and failed miserably. And this wave is wanna be smarter. It's priced at $190 for the exact amount that people are willing to lose on a whim, just so they can feel optimized. And now that companies realize that the price is low enough, people will overlook that fact that the camera is grainy and the AI is just mostly second-guessing things. It's a supply and demand cosplay where the production is your own embarrassment. You are part of a $48 billion industry built on the fact that you can't be trusted to eat a salad without a machine giving you a gold star or a pat on the back. And since the review for this device are a masterclass in human absurdity, I fart in your general direction. People stopped complaining about the camera recording their private lives long time ago. Now, they're complaining that the AI is too accurate, as in, they're using words such as unsettling, creepy, and ghost-like. One user even described it as having a tiny mother-in-law living under their shirt, and he still gave it a perfect score. No, you've actually convinced yourself that being bullied by a piece of plastic is a healing journey. Well, no, it's actually just your masochism paired up with a Bluetooth connection. And since you're rating your own surveillance 4 out of 5, this became being watched a judgmental algorithm that now feels safer around you since you can't be alone with your own thoughts. And besides the real cost of Loki L1, the fact that you are now walking with a surveillance drone behind you just so you can optimize your life, or just the device that will record anyone you meet, your partner, your kids, your dog, your piss, whatever, and then you're literally gonna drag all those people in your life into a personal rehab experiment without their consent. At the end of the day you're gonna get a report of, oh, I met this guy or I did these things, or just in case you're developing early stages of dementia. And since Loki calls this main feature story mode, it takes 5 seconds of clips every minute to stitch together a vlog of your daily life while you sleep. Since you suffer too much from main character syndrome, at its peak that we've all hit, you believe that your life is so fascinating that it requires a dedicated AI historian to analyze your lunch order. Since you frame massive privacy violation as wellness, underneath all this aesthetic, you're still just a customer acting like a creep in public for the sake of vibes. And since you cannot buy character and you cannot download willpower, the local one is built on a lie that you can. Tells you that if you just spend enough money on the right gadget, you'll magically become the person you always wanted to be. It's the same idea as using things for $400 gym bags that have no purpose at all. The same economy that decided that improvement should be expensive. And since you aren't spending money, you are not actually changing, since money equals change in life. So they monetized your shame, and by doing so they turn your inability to get off the couch into a revenue stream. You're buying the feeling of not having to buy anything. Since you like to rent a conscience, too lazy to build one on your own. You have outsourced the most basic part of being a human being, self-reflection, just to a piece of Chinese-made plastic. And since the local one is just a modern executive dysfunction, this thread is gonna be for people who can't exist without an audience. Even if the audience is the size of this microchip in here. The bitterness of your own failure has been edited out and replaced with a haptic nudge. So save your $200. You don't need a premium spell or even a plastic necklace to tell you that you're making bad choices. I am right here. I'll tell you that you're making bad choices for free. You're looking for a shortcut to discipline, but discipline cannot be bought on Amazon. So take that stupid necklace off, look yourself in the mirror, and this is the only monitor you actually need. So now, get off your couch.
Off you fuck now. Chip flip.
Pula boi, pula cavalo e boi. Coração pula no peito, lembrando amor que se foi.
Module, it uses pe măta, it uses pe măta să dea la cui. Ai, John, what's wrong with you? Go to the toilet!